Representative Salazar.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Representatives Hansen and Michelson-Janae, for bringing this important resolution, as it is much needed in this very dire time. We just finished having Martin Luther King resolution just 2 weeks ago, and many people stood up to talk about Martin Luther King and the virtues of standing up for others, including those who are disadvantaged and are oppressed. So it shocks me and it pains me to see that when this resolution is read, as every resolution when it's read, we all stand up in honor of the resolution. Maybe not so much the fact that we agree with what the resolution says, but it's the decorum of this body to stand in favor of resolutions, and then you can always disagree with it if you wish to at the well. Someone whose family goes back much further than any member of this body goes back, except possibly the Speaker of the House. My Spanish side goes back to the 1600s. We were here before there was a United States and before there was a state of Colorado. And my Apache side goes back 25,000 years. And I've always seen it as the greatest hypocrisy in America that those who decry the immigrant are here by virtue of immigration. I will say that again. The greatest hypocrisy in America is that those who decry the immigrant are here by virtue of immigration. And that's exactly what these executive orders are. It is straight and pure hypocrisy that this president, whose mother is an immigrant and whose father is an immigrant, should now decry immigrants and say that it's because of national security. And what's really amazing is how our members of Congress, including Republican congressmen, congresswomen, and senators, are saying that this does not help our national security. It hurts us. And I heard one say this weekend that it actually hurts our moral standing in the world. Think about it. Going after refugees. The very first Europeans who came to the eastern shores of this country were taken in by American Indians because they were refugees from religious persecution. Let that sit on your minds for a while, the hypocrisy. That people who are fleeing countries because they are being persecuted because of their religion are no longer welcome here, according to this president. Let that sit on your minds, the hypocrisy. Think about how we have caused wars in other countries and we have made a mess of things, and now that people are trying to come here because of the persecution that they feel, because of the fact that their family members are dying, are no longer welcome here, according to this president. Think about the hypocrisy. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. That's a great quote from Dr. Martin Luther King. But it's not just this executive order that took place on Friday, but it's been the multitude of executive orders that have taken place throughout the week. Did you know that there's an executive order that criminalizes neighbors if they don't report a neighbor they think is suspected of being undocumented? We saw that during the Jewish Holocaust, during the Nazi regime in Germany, where they criminalized neighbors if they didn't report someone they thought was Jewish. And it's happening in 2017 in the greatest country of the world, the United States of America. Think about the hypocrisy. My daughter was crying the other day because she is grasping at the age of 8 years old what's happening in our country and what's happening in our world. And after we calmed her down and told her that we will fight for her, as well as our Muslim brothers and sisters, as well as our undocumented brothers and sisters, as well as the refugees coming to this country and who are here, as well as those who hold green cards, as well as those who are hold dual citizenship status, my wife and I, we sat down and we talked about how we are in 2017, and this is what we're facing in our country. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. It's another great Dr. Martin Luther King quote. You guys like coming up here when Dr. Martin Luther King Day is happening? Ladies and gentlemen, history is going to judge us very harshly because of what is happening just in the past week. And I hope history judges us extremely harsh. But I also hope this too, that history will say that something else happened. That there were groups of Americans who stood up on behalf of refugees, who stood up on behalf of the undocumented, who stood up on behalf of those who have green cards, who stood up for humanity, who stood up for our moral authority that we keep touting year after year after year for the past 200 years. And that these group of people stood up, and they were the saving grace of this country. They stood up when other people sat down, even during reading a resolution. Because if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. That's what Desmond Tutu said. This is not a political issue, folks, and it's not a partisan issue either. Stand up for your neighbors. They need you. They're scared. And in 2017 in the United States of America, they should have nothing to fear. Thank you.